All right. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. If you are not in Africa, I'll say good day to you. So it's really, really amazing to see every one of you here. Those of us who have joined, thank you so much for joining. This is not the beginning, but this is something that we have to do to actually get things in order as we look towards May 30th, which is going to be the opening ceremony of the Digital Women Bootcamp Cohort 7. I thought about it that it's really important for us to have this session because I know that you have questions, and so it would be good for us to take these questions and be able to iron some things out before May 30th. And so that's why we are here today. So thank you once more for joining. By way of introduction, my name is Agama Moraya Jisuobo, and I'm the founder of Moms Who Code and the project director for Digital Women Boot Camp. It's really beautiful to have you all enrolled in to Digital Women Bootcamp this cohort. Like, I'm so thrilled. And for the fact that you are also actually confirmed your participation by the commitment fee. And if I would really say this is the first time that we are placing a commitment fee for the Digital Women Bootcamp program. And it's really encouraging to see the number of you who actually did commit and confirmed your participation for this program. I want to say thank you for trusting us, right? Not just with that commitment fee, but also with your time, and also the courage to share your dreams with us and trust us to be able to take you on this journey, right, towards achieving that dream. Thank you all so much for that. And having said so, I'd like us to quickly introduce ourselves, those of us in the room. If you'd like to speak, please feel free to unmute yourself and speak. If you're not able to speak at this time, you can put it in the comment in the chat. Tell us your name, tell us where you are joining us from, and tell us the cohort. And one last thing, one fun thing about you, a fun fact about you, please put it in the chat. Tell us your name, where you're joining us from, what your track, and also one fun fact about you. So I don't mind typing that in the chat. Your name, we want to know your name. We want to know what your country, right? Where you're joining from, where you're joining from, where you're joining from, your track, and also a fun fact about you. Please put it in the chat. Yes, I can see. If you hear me, where are you joining us from? What track? And what's one fun fact about you? Hi, Esther. You can go ahead to speak.
Good evening, ma.
Good
I'm
evening.
Esther Ekemode. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm
Awesome.
on the cyber security cohort.
Amazing.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you. What's one fun fact about you?
Oh my God, it is well.
Okay, so we can have someone else. Who else wants to go? Thank you so much, Esther. Thank you for that. Who else wants to go?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Rabia Audu Hassan. I'm joining from Nigeria and I'm on the
Marketing.
digital marketing. Yes, thank you.
All right. A fun fact about you.
I love to explore and make new friends.
All right. Nice. Great to have you here. Okay. So next person, let's quickly do this for the next, should I say next 5 minutes or less? Okay. So I'll just read Erumu Keri. Let me not pronounce the name, right? Okay, let me say we have a beautiful woman here joining us from the United Kingdom, and she's also in the digital marketing track. Fun fact about her is that she loves to eat swallow. Awesome. So that swallow, is it starch? Is it gari? Is it poundo? That would make it even more fun. All right, so we have Eba and Banga soup. Awesome. Nice.
Good
Okay,
evening.
great. Yeah, Kalachi, please go ahead.
Okay, my name is Faith. Kelachi is actually my middle name.
Okay,
I'm joining from Ogun State, Nigeria. I'm
awesome.
on the data science cohort
Okay.
and I love singing.
Ooh, that's great. That's great. Great to have you here, Faith.
Thank you.
Anyone else wants to share?
Evening.
Good evening, lady.
Hello, Tino. Please go ahead.
How are you? My name is Tinotenda Madzwana. I'm from Zimbabwe.
Awesome.
I'm in the cloud computing tech. And
Okay.
maybe a fun fact about me, I'm someone who loves fitness. I love to train and work out. I'm so
Awesome.
excited to be joining you guys.
Hi,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you, Tino Tenda, for joining us all the way from Zimbabwe. And if we just do one more fun thing, maybe we just put the flag of our country in the chat. Those flags always look really beautiful. Please put the flag of your country in the chat. Let's make the place beautiful. I know we're in a virtual room, but we can really have um, a beautiful outing this evening. So Ifeami Tulaga, she's from Bayelsa State, Nigeria. She's in the data science cohort track, and she has played hockey professionally and internationally. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's really great. Thank you for sharing that with us. Trudy, please go ahead. Yeah, I can see your hand is raised. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Trudy and I'm joining from South Africa. I am in the cloud computing cohort. And fun fact about me, I don't know. I thank you.
Um, I didn't hear the last part. Is it just me?
The fun fact, I
Yeah.
enjoy teaching.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. And so I think, do we have anyone else who wants to share? Otherwise, to I move on to the next item on the agenda, which is just sharing a bit about our mission. Okay. So how many moms do we have here? If you're a mom in the room, let's see your hand. If you're a mom in the room, let's see your hand. Let's see your hand. Yay, that's nice. Yay, beautiful. Awesome, awesome. It's great to see all you beautiful moms here. So, Moms Who Code, we are on a mission to upskill and empower women, especially mothers, for successful careers in the tech industry, right? So, we started this journey in 2020, and it was just a couple of us women in a room, in a WhatsApp group, trying to learn how to code on our own. And anyone who has ever tried to learn how to code on their own in this room can attest to the fact that it's not a walk in the park, right? It's a journey that will have you questioning your intentions, questioning yourself a couple of times, right? Because especially if you're coming from a non-tech background, right? You question yourself. You ask yourself, who actually sent me on this journey? Why am I even doing this? What's the end point? Right? Do I think I'm really cut out for this? So Moms Who Code started to support women like that, right? To build a community around this, to help women know that they are not alone in their quest to actually become women in tech, to actually become skilled women in tech. Upskilling is very important, whether you're a woman in tech, professional woman in tech, or you have not even started, you are just starting, right? It is important that you always upskill yourself, because that's one thing that sets you apart. It's in a male dominated field, right? For those who are professionals here, you may not be a professional in the tech industry, but if you work in an office that is male dominated, you would agree with me that you have to work extra hard to prove yourself, to show that you are equal to the task, to show that you are not just there, you are not just all about the fancy makeup and the heels. You also have substance, right? And as a woman in tech, I understood this really early in my job, and I wanted to support other women who were on this same journey with me, right? It's one thing for you to, sorry, I need to add some people in the room. It's one thing for you to know that you can do something. It's another thing for you to actually have those skills to command results. And like I always tell people, I say that it is results that removes insults, right? If you work in a male dominated space, people want to see your results. People want to see your results. If you want to command respect that you deserve, people want to see your results. They want to see you deliver. And how do you do this when you do not have the right skill set? Whether it is a technical skill or it is a soft skill to lead a team or to even lead yourself and grow. So this is very important, and that's what we have been trying to do in our own way, in our own measure since 2020 through Moms Who Code. And in 2021, we are glad, we're really excited to get a grant to take our learning, to take our ambition beyond a self-study group, beyond women who are just in a WhatsApp group trying to learn how to code. So actually be able to bring in instructors to hold our hands, to teach us these skills we so needed to learn at that point in time. And so that was how the Digital Women Bootcamp started in 2021. So since 2021, we have had this cohort twice in a year, except for last year. And what we do is bring in skilled instructors to come help women break those hurdles, those concepts that seem like they are too difficult for them when they study alone. The instructors are here to break them down, to help women actually overcome those blockades and help them achieve the results that they want. For those who are just getting into tech for the very first time, it's also a launch pad for them. When they come into a community of other women who are trying to achieve the same thing like they are trying to do, it becomes even more easy. It becomes, the space is warm, there's a sense of belonging, and the enthusiasm is increased. So in a nutshell, that's what Moms Who Code is really about. We are about breaking barriers. We are about building skills. We are about fostering a community of support, because it does take a village. It does take a village, right? It does take a village to tell you, oh, there's an opening somewhere. It does take a village to say, oh, I don't think your portfolio is tight enough. It does take a village to say, there's a free training somewhere, come and enroll. It does take a village to also do like a peer study with you and help you to unlock those barriers. We are also about driving impact. And that is why we are so focused on women, especially mothers, and try as much as possible to make the bootcamp as accessible as we can. I recently posted on my LinkedIn that in Nigeria, I don't know about other parts of Africa. In Nigeria, for you to actually enroll in a bootcamp for 2 months, the average bootcamp you'd get, the average cost you get for a bootcamp that is quality would go for about 250,000. And how many women can actually afford that? Right? So we try as much as possible to make it accessible. And if I'll be saying it, this would be like the first time I'll be saying it. When I first had the idea of a bootcamp, I didn't even know that we will have a grant to run it at that time. But in my head, because I have experience, I worked in the university for more than 16 years. I knew the power of pulling resources together. I knew that if 200 people, 100 people, 50 people can put their funds together, it will be easier for them to actually get a quality instructor to teach them than if each of them goes on their own way to try to do it themselves. And that has been my mindset. And so when it got to cohort 7, and I knew we do not have someone who is saying, oh, go ahead, I'll give you XYZ amount of funds, right, to implement this. I knew that if everyone actually paid something small, we will be able to pay our instructors coupled with the amount of volunteers we would get, right? So I'm so glad. And once again, I want to say thank you for trusting us with your time, with your dreams, and with your funds, right? To come do this with us at Digital Women Bootcamp. Now, let me go straight to the structure of the bootcamp. What should you expect? What should you expect? So what we do is we provide instructor-led classes. And for this cohort, it is going to be over the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2 out of those 3 days, for 2 hours per session, you have an opportunity to have an instructor teach a particular concept, teach the module for that week. We have broken the module down to 8 topics. And for those who are just coming into tech, like, this is the best way for you to actually get in, because we are taking you through the fundamentals. They are very, very important, right? I know this is for those in software development, and you might have heard about vibe coding, people using AI to write applications, right? It is possible. It is possible. What is also possible is that it carries a lot of risk. And if you do not have the fundamental knowledge to build it the way it should be built, then you expose yourself, the business you plan to run, into a lot of risk, right? And so we provide solid fundamental knowledge in the different tracks that we offer you. And so for 8 weeks, we have broken down those fundamental concepts into different topics, and we'll take them. And for every week, you have an instructor come for 4 hours to take you through those modules. But what are you going to be doing during the week? That's also very important. In the past cohort, the classes held during weekdays. And I know that it was a lot of struggle for the women, for some who have to go to work in the morning, return home in the evenings, make preparations for dinner, come back to class maybe by 9 p.m. And having read through the feedbacks from this woman, we decided, oh, how about we have this live instructions during the week? During the weekends. And that's what we are doing now. But we're not going to leave the weekdays with nothing, because there's a lot of work to be done. And that's one thing I must really mention at this point. It's going to be intense, right? So you have to prepare your heart for it. You have to be ready, because it's going to be intense. You have to do a whole lot of reading, sometimes on your own during the week. But we have also made sure to get you peer mentors. Peer mentors are women who have these skills, but don't think they are quite there yet. They'll be in your WhatsApp groups. They'll be there to answer your questions during the week. They'll be there to go on quick calls with you when you are stuck, to answer questions, to guide you. They'll do all that. So the live interactive sessions will happen over weekends, but during the week, you'd have resources to cover. And then you also have peer mentors in your WhatsApp group to guide you, to answer questions that you might have. Now, practical labs and projects. You will have opportunities to work on projects, but not at the beginning. In the first 2 weeks, you may not really do anything practical, because you are still trying to understand the theories behind this concept, behind this task, behind this project. But from the 3rd week forward, you would have to work on tasks, and there will be projects for you to work on. You'll have assignments, which can also be in form of the task that you'll be asked to take and submit. Your assignments will be reviewed, and they are very important, because those tasks are actually meant to build you. They are meant to build your learning, and they are meant to help us identify gaps in your learning. So if you are not taking the task, then there's really no way for us to access, and there is really no way for even you to know if you're actually getting what you should get, right? So it's those tasks, they are really important. I would encourage you from now on to prepare your mind to do them. Now, key dates and logistics. The bootcamp starts on Friday, May 30th, and that's when we'll have the kickoff session at 6 p.m. Nigerian time. So after Friday, the classes will hold on any of those 3 days. And like I put it in the WhatsApp group, we have that flexibility. We offer it to you and your instructors to decide what time. So when I put that poll in the group, I also took your responses. I did a screenshot and I sent it to the instructors, right? For them to have an idea of what you want, the timing that you want. And based on that, they are able to also make considerations and schedule the classes. But I believe that the final time and day for each of your live instruction will happen by the time you kick off, let's say after May 30th, right? So I've talked about the fact that you would do some self-learning. I've talked about the fact that you have your live sessions and that you will have a minimum 4 hours. That is what we are guaranteeing you. Minimum 4 hours of live instruction every week. The time that we are going to fix, they are all going to be Nigerian time. So for those of us who are not Nigerians or live in Nigeria, please use a time converter. I'll put that on my to-do. So I send you one that you can use. So this will help you actually keep track of time, so you don't miss out on classes because of the timing, the variation in time zone. So I'll take a pause here now and answer any questions. If you have questions based on what I have said so far, I'll take a pause here so I can answer the questions. Okay, so I'm reading. You can put your question, your comments in the chat. I will be reading. Okay, Eru Mokereri says she's not in any WhatsApp group. All right. I think I can quickly send you, let me see if I can quickly send the link to the WhatsApp group here so that anyone who is not in that WhatsApp group can join. Oh, I see 2 requests. Okay, so if you just recently sent in your request, I am not going to approve it until after this call, so please be patient. So I have dropped the link. The link is in the chat for you. Are there any other questions? Okay, I'll get to that shortly. Ejembi Fatima says, how do I know the group that I belong? Awesome. So the group that you belong depends on the track. For those who joined before we posted the links to the different subgroups, we will repost it. We'll repost it in the WhatsApp group. We'll repost it in the WhatsApp group so you'll be able to join. So the most important group right now is the one for all participants. The one for all participants is the most important group right now. So I want everyone to be in that group. Will the live classes be a fixed one or varying for each week? Most of the time, once you set the schedule for a particular week, it could run for another 2 to 3 weeks, right? But one thing I'd like to say is that you have told yourself you want to be part of this training for 8 weeks. Please leave your schedule open over the weekends for the next 8 weeks. Leave your schedule open, be as flexible as possible, right? That's one thing I'd like to really encourage you. Yes, if you hear me, I have seen your question and I will get to it when I return to my presentation. I'll get to it. So are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? Okay. So for technical requirements, Femi has asked here, what would we need? Would we need to download any software or application ahead of time? What do we need to get ourselves ready? Now, we try to make it as seamless as possible, right? So we are going to be using Google Meet for the live classes and also using Google Classroom for the content, for resource curation. So all the links that we should share with you, for example, if I were to share with you a link to a particular article, I would not share it on WhatsApp. I would put it on Google Classroom, right? And so Google Classroom also makes it easy for anyone who's probably not in that group right now to see it. WhatsApp will not allow persistent messaging, not allow new users to see old messages. But if such a person goes on Google Classroom, the person would be able to see even old messages. So we're going to use Google Classrooms for certain kinds of messages like resources, links to resources, PDFs, and the likes. We will use Google Classrooms for that. For live call like we're having right now, we will use Google Meets, right? And then WhatsApp for every other conversation that we'll be having. So I think if we restrict ourselves to those three, it won't be so much of a burden moving from one application to the other, right? So for those who use Android, for Android users, I'm sure it comes with Google Meets. For the Google Classroom, I am not so sure, but you can check, right? So I'll make a note to send a link, to send that link if there is, to send a link to download that. For those who use iOS as well, you may also have to check your application, your app store, right? And download Google Meet and Google Classroom, right? So that's for that. Okay. I think I see a question here. Okay, so another thing I'd like to say is if you are doing digital marketing and you don't have a PC, I think to a large extent you are covered, right? But it might be stressful for you when you have to, when it gets to like design or editing, maybe analytics, it might be stressful for you. But you are still, to a large extent, you are still covered. But for every other track, it is important that you have a PC for your live classes to carry out your work, right? So whether you're using Windows or Mac or Linux, it's fine. For Windows, I would recommend Windows 10 or a newer one. I think the most recent is Windows 11. If you have a Windows 8, it should also work, right? And so in terms of the RAM, the storage, I'll send that on WhatsApp, right? Or maybe even put it on Google Classroom. I'll send that, right? So you are able to see it instead of just saying it here. But you need a high RAM. For those in data science, I can say minimum 8 gig, right? Minimum 8 gig RAM. But what I'm saying now, I'm going to send it to you, so you don't need to worry about writing it down. And for those in software development, data science, yes, I think even cloud computing, because at some point you'll be doing the practicals. Yes. So there's something called Visual Studio Code. It's an development environment for programmers. For those who would be doing some form of programming, you would need to download that. We will also send you the link. Not to worry, we'll send you the link, right? So that's it. And for this bootcamp, we only have 5 tracks: digital marketing, data science, cybersecurity, cloud computing, software development. And for this software development, we're focusing on the MERN stack, right? That will also be explained to you. Now, what are the resources that are available to you? You have instructors, you have your peer mentors, you have the online platforms, We would also be sharing links to some other online platforms that we believe will help you in your learning. We'll be sharing links so you can register on those platforms, right? And you have like an opportunity to request office hour with any instructor or with any peer mentor or even with me, right? If it's something that I can handle, definitely I'm here for it. Then at the end of the boot camp, you have access to our alumni network, which will continue to improve to serve our alumni, right? And then we're not making any promises. But one thing I'd like to say is that if you set a goal to achieve an internship at the end of this boot camp, right? It is actually possible for you to get it. During the course of the 8 weeks, we are going to have a session where we show you, we guide you on how to secure internship or apprenticeship, right after the boot camp. We are not promising you that we are going to do it for you, like we're going to give you, put that opportunity in your hand. We're saying that we will guide you, right, and assist you as much as possible to see how you can secure an internship. One important thing I'd like to say is if you are going to get an internship at the end of this program, the best time to start working towards it is now. The best time to start working towards it is now. You're not going to wait until the program is like 5 weeks gone before you try to do that, right? The best time to start working towards what you want is now. So I would encourage you to actually consider that. If you want to ask questions, if you want to start connecting, right, you do that. Like I said, we'll have a session where we'll take you through steps on how to actually achieve that. We will also have 2 other sessions at the end of June where we will invite mentors from the industry who are not instructors in this bootcamp. They are not peer mentors. They are professionals who will come speak to you and you'll be able to ask them questions. Ask them for opportunities if possible, right? But one thing that stands is that for you to actually get these opportunities, you have to have something. And that is why following up on your task, completing your task, they are very important. When it's time for you to work on projects, how the way and manner at which you go about implementing your project is very important, right? How you attend classes is very important. How you ask questions, how you make sure that nothing stops you from learning is very important, right? So I don't know if anyone has any question at this time. Any questions at this time? Please ask your question. I'm here. Happy to answer them. If you have comments too, I can take comments. Any comments? Any comments? Feel free to put it in the chat. Feel free to put it in the chat if you have questions or comments or anything. So have I answered everybody's questions? Have I answered any questions? Okay. So there's also something I'd like to say, and it's the fact that some people want to switch tracks. I'd like to say that it is possible for you to switch from one track to another track, but you have to do it at the beginning of the program, right? But there are some questions you need to actually ask yourself. You need to do some reflection before you change tracks, right? For those who have asked me, I've actually asked them some questions. For example, why do you want to move from one track to the other, right? So if you want to move from one track to the other, please let us know before May 30th. But one thing I've also gone ahead to do is to do some research on the internet. Do some research on the internet to see how I can provide you with a material that can help you make a decision. For those who are still undecided, those who are still like, oh, maybe data science, maybe digital marketing, or maybe cloud computing, maybe software development, right? I'll share that material with you. Let's say by Tuesday, you should have that material. It will help you actually make your final decision, because we don't want people switching tracks by the third week. By then, you have lost 2 weeks of learning already. So it will be better to do it right at the beginning of the training. I see a question here. Will there be a replay of live sessions? On what platform will they be made available? Yes, there will always be replay of live sessions. And let me quickly say that it's possible for your instructor to begin a class and forget to hit record. Let your eyes be there, right? Put your mind that this person is supposed to hit record at the beginning of this class. And if they don't, please raise a hand. Request that the classes be recorded. It is very, very important. You might even need to go back to the recording after the bootcamp is over, right? If we don't have the recording, then there is nothing we can do. So please, let's remember to request that classes be recorded. Very important. Thank you for that question. Now, you said, on what platform will they be available? When the classes are recorded, Google will actually give you a link to the recording, right? And so we'll place the link to that recording on the Google Classroom. It could also be posted on the WhatsApp, inside your WhatsApp group, like, because some people like it inside WhatsApp group. It's maybe easier, more accessible for them, right? But we'll make sure to put it on Google Classroom, and you also have it in your WhatsApp group to make it easier for you, right? So our internship opportunities are available for people outside Nigeria. Now, I'll say yes. And the reason I say yes is that we don't have a specific organization that we're saying, oh, this company is going to take our bootcamp graduates as interns. We don't. We do not have. We are working towards helping our graduates secure internships, but we don't have any company at this time that we can say this company is going to take our interns, right? But we know that there are companies in Nigeria, outside of Nigeria, that are open to taking interns. So like I said, if you are going to get an internship out after this, right, you have to start doing the work now. For example, let's say you are in Cape Town, right? Is there like an organization you are looking at to say, I want to intern with this, right? Then you can actually start doing what is needed to be done to be able to secure that internship. So that would be my response to that question. So you can actually get internship from anywhere. I think there was a cohort where we had two South African ladies actually secure internships for, I think it was data science, and the company was the Nigerian company. It's remote, right? If you get a nod with a company in Nigeria, it's remote, then it's possible. You can also be in Nigeria and get and secure an internship with a company that is not in Nigeria. That's also possible. As long as it's remote, it's workable. And I quickly want to also say something I missed out earlier, and that's the power of forming small groups, right? For this cohort, the classes are not as large as we have had them in the past. But I also know that when you come together to actually form study groups, it can be very helpful, right? And so I'd like to advise or encourage you to look at forming smaller groups within your track groups. maybe by the second week, maybe by the third week, you can actually see a few people and you feel like, oh, this person's energy, I think I like it, right? And become like, form a group amongst yourself to actually do work together. At the end of the boot camp, you probably, your project probably be a group project. It could be individual. But if it's a group project and you already have a group at the beginning, then things become really easy for you, right? And aside the fact that it will help you with your project, I think for those who don't have experience working in teams, it's also a great way for you to develop that skill. That is a soft skill, being able to collaborate, being able to work in a team, right? It's a soft skill. And if you put it on your CV, on your resume, that, oh, you can work in a team, and you cite a good example, then I think it will be considered. So let's also put that at the back of our minds. Try as much as possible to work in teams, form groups, study groups, right, within your track. So when you have tasks, you can actually work on this task together. There is nothing like, oh, this person's outcome is going to be better than mine. No, we're all here to support each other. It's the spirit of sisterhood, right? We are all here to support each other. So if you know it and someone else doesn't know it, it is in the spirit of this thing that we are doing together to see how you can help the other person know it. That's why we're here. And if you don't belong in a group, if you isolate yourself, then how would you ask for help? Right. There's a game that we normally play in such scenarios, and tell you pick a number between maybe 1 and 7, maybe between 1 and 8, and everyone who picks the same number joins the same group. I think that's a good way to actually do stuff like this. So let's try to do that amongst ourselves. For those that are just coming, I'd like to say welcome to you. This session is being recorded, and the recording will be shared at the end of this session. Someone says, what if we don't know any companies? You have to look for companies. You have to. It's part of the work, right? You have to look for company. Even if it means doing it together with somebody else, you have to look for companies. So please post your questions regarding securing internships. Post them. You can send them as email to me. You can post them on the participants group. You can post them there. And so when we have these questions, we can actually look at how to provide answers to you and how to look for resources that can help you based on the questions that you have asked. So thank you for that. Any other questions? Any comments? So lastly, you'll be given a certificate at the end of the training. You have a certificate. We normally award certificates at the end of the boot camp. But the certificates only go to people who complete their project successfully. Your project will be graded. We're not just going to give you a project and hands off, right? Your project, you actually submit your project will be reviewed, graded, and if it is deemed to be satisfactory, then you would have passed, right? We also give an exam, a quiz, and so we'll add the score of your quiz, whatever you obtain on that quiz, we'll add it to the score that you obtain in the project, and that will determine your final score. And in the past, we have placed it at 70% as our pass mark. So please do your best. You know, there's a lot of posts. There's a lot of posts where I see about bootcamp graduates aiming too high for internship opportunities, right? I don't think it is wrong to aim high, to aim that high. I think it is wrong to aim that high and not actually do the work. And I say that because as someone who has done 6 cohorts of this bootcamp, I know there are women who have actually secured internships after this bootcamp. I also know that I know someone who she didn't even secure an internship. The work she was doing, she used the knowledge that she gained to build a database for them, and they increased their salary straight up, right? So sometimes it may not be you looking for a work outside of where you already are. It could be how can you leverage the knowledge, the new skills that you have gathered, how can you leverage it where you are? And how can that launch you to your next level, right? You can switch from one role to another role within an organization. Doesn't mean that you have to leave where you are, right? You can even decide that post this bootcamp, you want to go on, you want to continue learning. There's nobody saying that, oh, this is not the final bus stop. This is like a launch pad for you. And after this, you can decide, I want to go on to intermediate before I even look for a job, before I look for an internship. It is also possible. We have also had women complete the training and they're like, oh, I think going further will help me stand out better. And they go on to continue to learn. And when they feel most comfortable, they decide to start applying for jobs. Those that don't get jobs, some of them have been able to start teaching. They launch their own teaching service, right? And they teach people what they have learned. We also have women like that who are finished from this boot camp. So an internship is not like the final. For those in digital marketing, I'd like to say that yours is not all that difficult. If you already have a business that you are running, a small business that you are running, right, you can very well apply your weekly topics, right, to your business. As they are teaching you every week, you are applying what you have learned to your business. And trust me, you will see the growth. You will see it. It's almost impossible to not see the growth if you apply what you learn over the course of 8 weeks. Some people now leverage their digital marketing skills to be virtual assistants, helping people do stuff related to digital marketing, social media management, and the rest of it. When you get into the class, you will understand the different areas in digital marketing. It's a broad field. It's broad, right? So you know what are the different roles, and if you want to focus, for example, which one comes more to me? Do I want to be a content creator? Do I want to be a content developer? Do I want to be like a copywriter? Do I want to be like a web analyst? Do I want to be like a, should I say, SEO specialist? There are different fields, so let me say subfields under digital marketing. So once you begin, you understand what all that means and how it applies to you, and then you can actually make a decision. So someone says, please, how much do they pay for internship? There are different kinds of internships being organized by different organizations. Some people ask you to pay for an internship, and what really happens there is that you are given opportunity to work as if you were working within a team, but you are working on a project, right? And then you have to pay them to make all that available to you. I don't know how much they will charge. I know there are organizations that do that. I don't know how much they charge, but it's possible. There are also internships where the company says, oh, we are looking for a trainee. We won't pay them so much. We only give them like a stipend at the end of the month, but we provide them the environment to continue to learn and build their skills. Says, do you have an immediate study opportunity or resources ourselves? Now, this is one question that has kept recurring for some time now. What we do with post bootcamp is that if we have 3 to 5 people that say, oh, we want to continue learning, then we arrange a facilitator for them. So beyond the bootcamp that we do, we also link learners, interested learners, with facilitators. If we have 3 to 5 people that say, oh, we want to keep learning, we want to move on from this stage to the next stage, we can arrange a facilitator to do that. but that's not going to be part of this boot camp, and it's not going to be free, because the facilitator is going to charge for his time. So yeah, so that's all I have to share with you this evening. I'm very open to your questions. Please ask them. If you have any other questions, ask. And if any other question pops up in your mind after this call, feel free to drop it in the chat. I will always be reading through that participants chat to see what questions, suggestions, comments are there. So any other comments or questions? Okay. So in the absence of questions, I'd like to say thank you for joining this information session this evening. I believe I have answered all the questions that have been posed by you. I also commit to dropping the links that I have promised in the chat. I should drop the links by Tuesday. Unfailingly, you should have those links. And I also expect to see you at the kickoff ceremony on May 30th. It's a Friday, I know, and it's going to happen at 6 p.m. Nigerian time. We are expecting our keynote speaker, who is a cybersecurity professional. She's an accomplished woman in the field of cybersecurity. She's a mom. She's a northern woman in Nigeria. She has achieved so much for herself, and I think it will be an honor to have her be our keynote speaker that day. So I'd like to encourage you, especially those who are here now, please make it a date with us on May 30th. It's a Friday at 6 p.m. Nigerian time. The link to RSVP has been sent. Please put it in your calendar. Once you click the link and you press yes, that adds it to your calendar, so you're able to get a reminder, right? And also on that day, please be ready to turn on your cameras, because it wouldn't be good for someone to be speaking to a room full of women and the cameras are all turned off, right? So you will help us make the space warm for her as she joins us on that day, right? So thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening, and also have a great week ahead. Bye.
And you too, Mom. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Mama.